Bloody hell, you won't believe how many times I've recorded this stupid video, but this is probably the umpteenth time I'm doing this, but the one that was on here before that I uploaded, I just rambled a lot for nearly 18 minutes or so. This might be longer, this might be shorter, I don't know. But it wasn't that constructive, it wasn't put together very well. So I thought I'd try it again. But this time I've made a list on this one, and it's a proper list of things that I want to change in regards to this setup as it stands. That's to do with peripherals, components, whatever. I would need to go through what I want to do to make this better for me. I'm not sponsored by overclockers in any way, shape or form, by the way, but I just like them, alright? That's all. So the first thing that I'm considering changing is the graphics card. I'm currently flicking between two different options that could be of benefit for me. If I stick with AMD, which I currently am at the moment, I would go with the Radeon RX 5700 XT 50th Anniversary Edition. Only because it's only a little bit more than the standard XT. You get a little bit more for your money, which isn't too bad. But if I go back to Nvidia, it would be an RX 2080 Super. Not a 2080 Ti, because it's way too much money for me, but a 2080 Super. The 2080 Super for me, I think, considering what I am going from, would be a considerable upgrade. Now, I understand that the reviews for that particular card have been very, very mixed. They're either really positive or negative, mostly sliding towards the negative because a lot of people think it's not the best upgrade in the world. But considering that I currently use an RX Vega 64 graphics card, which is in its Asus Republic of Gamers guise, going to an RX 2080 Super would be substantial. It would be really substantial in terms of upgrading from there. So that was one of the things. Now this upgrade could affect what monitor I'd go for. Now currently I'm using an Asus ROG Swift PG279Q. Fantastic monitor, 1440p, it's got G-Sync and everything else, which is absolutely lovely. But I would like to go with an ultra-wide monitor. I was originally going to go with a 4K one, because 4K is 4K, you get the highest possible resolution, a good screen real estate and so on and so forth. But with an ultra-wide, I think that would really suit this setup because they're becoming more popular recently. But as I said, what graphics card I would go with would affect what monitor I would go with, because if I stuck with AMD and went with the RX 5700 XT, there's a Samsung monitor that I'm looking at, which is the the C34F791. I'm actually reading the notes as I go along, but I think that monitor looks really nice. It's understated, it's got a nice silver base, there's a white frame on it. It looks pretty good. But if I went back to Nvidia, which has G-Sync, the one that I've been looking at and I've seen reviews of is the LG 34GK 950G. There's a 950F for FreeSync, but there's a 950G for G-Sync. And that looks really good. Yes, I know it's got RGB at the back, and it's got the gamery designs to it with the red and the black, but it's not in your face like most gaming monitors are. It's very subtle. I mean, you can't really see the red trim. I mean, yeah, you'd see the RGB because it would shine off the back of it and onto the wall. But that could be of benefit because, I mean, yeah, I use two desk lamps at the moment and they've got Philips Hue bulbs in them. And I can sync them up to whatever's on screen if I want to, or just dim the colours down or whatever. I can do all sorts of things with them. But maybe having that RGB in the back might actually help my eyes better with looking at the screen. So that's that one. The next thing would be the mouse. Because I'm not a hardcore PC gamer, I don't really need a gaming mouse anymore. This one is the G403 from Logitech. Very nice mouse, don't get me wrong, I do quite like it. But I want to change it for something that's wireless and possibly to match the setup as it stands with my custom keyboard. And to be honest with you, it's probably going to be the Logitech MX Master 2S in light grey, because I think that will blend in very nicely with how my desk looks right now, apart from the wrist rests for for those things, which are these cheap Amazon ones. I'm possibly thinking of actually making them myself out of wood and actually making them match the setup as it is. So that's one of the other things I'll probably do. That will blend in quite nicely. Another thing, going on to audio side of things, the speakers, they're fine, but the speaker stands, they're not. They're just foam block risers. They're pretty standard. They've got the right position, as in they're facing towards me, but they're not at the right angle or height. So I was looking at these SoundRise Pro stands that you can get in America, but you can obviously import them over here. I've got no problem with importing stuff from the US. It's absolutely fine. I've seen reviews of them. They're pretty positive. A lot of them are from professional editors, professional recording artists as well. Those who use actual studio monitors on them. But I've seen the review from Z Reviews as well, and he just clearly says they're the perfect height for your desk, and you can store things under them, and it won't take up any more space on your desk. So you can store things under them, which would be fantastic. So that's one of the other things I'm looking at. And the other thing with that, I mean, I can obviously put the current DAC that I have and the current headphone amp I've got and just move everything around and everything will be hunky-dory. But I'm kind of considering on changing those bits as well. Here's the thing. The DAC I've got at the moment is a JDS Labs OL DAC. It's a fantastic DAC for $100. The current headphone amplifier I've got is a JDS Labs Atom, which is a fantastic headphone amplifier for $100. They are very industrial looking, but I kind of want something a little bit sleeker, which I was looking at the EL series from JDS Labs, the EL DAC and the EL amp. And I think they could work quite well with this setup. So, for instance, if I'm using the speaker amplifier, I don't need to have the headphone amplifier on. But if I'm using the headphone amplifier, switch it on and it shuts off the speakers. And I think that'll work really nicely, which basically means I won't have to use the setup I'm using right now. So it's currently going from DAC to a splitter box, and then the splitter box out to both a speaker amp and the headphone amp, and I'll have to switch between the two manually, which is fine. It's not ideal, but it works just fine. But those two components, I think, would really make the difference in how the setup looks and possibly sounds as well. I mean, I know sound is very subjective, naturally, but I kind of like that idea. That's one of the things I'll be doing on that one. What else was there? Going back to the list. Yeah, sticking with audio again. You may have noticed that there's a couple of headphones missing behind me. One of which is on my desk, which is the Hypherman HE400Is. They're still working. They have not put a foot wrong for me. But I would like a set of open back headphones to kind of complement the rest of everything there. That I'm really torn on. I don't know what to go with. I've been looking at a few options, but I'll make my mind up when I get nearer to that time. That is a no rush one though. I'm not rushing to get another pair of open back headphones anytime soon, but I do want to change some bits first, way before then. So that's that. And going back to peripherals very quickly, the custom keyboard I've got is very nice, but the cable isn't. It's just a basics one from Amazon. I want to get one of those custom sleeve ones. So there's a couple of companies I've been looking at. There's two of which in the UK, one of which is in Germany. Just going to debate who to go with on that one. And it's going to, as I said, the keyboard itself is back in the room. The keyboard currently has white keycaps and it's got a silver case. I might get a keyboard to match that, so maybe silver braiding and a white heat shrink, something like that. I don't know, but that's that. Right. Now for another big one, and that's this, the chair. The DX Racer Formula chair is a good chair, don't get me wrong, but the one thing it's really good for, in my personal opinion, is for this. for the camera. You can see that it's a prominent design. It's got the high contrasting colours. You can obviously, you don't have to get this in green. You can get this in white, yellow, red, pink, blue, whatever other colours are available. I don't know. But the only thing is, it's not very ergonomically designed for me, because I've recently been having some back problems. Not major, but just minor twinges here and there, and it's uncomfortable. So I think for me, the way the chair is currently designed, so I haven't got the lumbar cushion at the back here, okay? And it's just a flat back, so my spine is very flat against it, which is not really a natural position for it to be placed. And if I sit further forward, how it should be, I should be up like this. My shoulders aren't supported, so I have to relax like this. If I use the lumbar cushion that came with it, it would push my back out a bit too much. I'll be probably out like this, and it creates an arch on my back, pushing out further, and it's not very comfortable. Let's just say that the ergonomics are shit on this, let's be brutally honest. So I'm probably thinking of getting a proper office chair, like a real ergonomic, fully adjustable fabric as well, because let's be honest, I really don't like the sort of leather / pleather material, especially during the summer, because you get really sweaty and it's not very nice at all. So fabric, office chair, one that's properly ergonomic and fully adjustable, that'd be ideal. The only colours I've really seen is either black or grey. You can't really get white ones from the ones I've seen, but I'd rather have a more comfortable seating experience at my desk than this. Now, I've added a few things to the list from what I did previously in the video that's now been deleted. One thing I'm thinking of changing is the audio setup for my TV. Now, you can probably see it in the corner there. That is the Samsung, I can't remember the name of it, Samsung MS750. I think that's what it's called. It's a nice soundbar, don't get me wrong. But one thing I was probably thinking of doing, but again, this is a no rush upgrade. It will probably happen, but not straight away. Is instead of a soundbar, is get a hi-fi that has an optical connection, run that from the TV to the hi-fi amplifier, and have two two hi-fi grade speakers instead of this. And honestly, the ones I've been looking at, probably going to go with, are the Monitor Audio Bronze 2s. I currently got Monitor Audio Bronze 1s on my desk, and they are lovely. So maybe Monitor Audio Bronze 2s in white would work quite well. As for the amplifier, undecided on that one, but I need to really think about what's available, what's compatible, and what would work really well with a TV. So there's that. And lastly, in terms of actual tech, phone upgrade. Now, I'm currently using a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Lovely phone, really good. Probably one of the best phones I've ever used. It hasn't put a foot wrong on me at all. And that's what made me stay, or not stay, but go back to Android, because I've heard really good things about it, and iOS just really wasn't for me. But what I would like to do is either go with the OnePlus 7, which is one of the options for me, or wait for a few more weeks until the Pixel 4 XL has been officially announced and it's got a full price and release date. And obviously all the specs are available to read up. But then obviously, of course, Samsung have come along and have now officially announced their Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. Although I'm not so keen on the Note series of Samsung phones. I prefer the Galaxy series if I were to stick with a Samsung Galaxy phone, but not the Note series, because I don't really need the S Pen. I don't need to write things on my phone. I'd just rather type it out, take a picture, or do whatever I need to do. So there's that. But at the moment, I'm just going to hold fire on the phone front. I'm also going to hold, as I said, I'm also going to hold fire on the sound system for the TV and the open back headphones. But for the other bits, they're going to be happening at some point. Don't know when, but I know they're going to be topping the list right now. And my graphics card has now decided to spin up like a jet engine. Because it knows it's the summer. This is the thing with AMD. It just, the fans just kick off and it just generates all the noise, and it's not very nice. So there are those bits. There's still one thing that's on my mind, and that's how I go about presenting these things. Because usually what I do, if I get something new that I really wanted, I would usually record myself unboxing it, do a real reaction. I'm not an unboxing channel, I'm just a random channel. I'm just a random bloke on the internet, just doing YouTube on the side for the lols. There you go, I said lols, and I cannot believe I said it. I need a mouthful of coffee to compensate. But do I stick with that formula? And whatever product comes in through first, I open it up, do a video on it, and say, there you go, there's the thing. There it is plugged in. There's that. Boom, done. Thank you very much. Sub if you want. Thank you. Or do I do it live? I've been debating this for so long, like a really long time. Do I actually do a live stream of me just buying a load of products in that's on this list and unboxing it for everybody? Do I do that? The only thing with that is that I would need to get something else. I'll probably need to add a second camera if I were to do that. And instead of going, because here's the other thing as well. A lot of professional streamers and even professional YouTubers, they would use high grade cameras, like cameras that cost like 700, maybe 1,000, maybe even more than that, with like their cinema red and whatnot. And it can get a bit overwhelming, but what I would like to do is just do this webcam, maybe a second webcam, and keep it raw and keep it simple and keep it like the old school ways of recording videos, and maybe even live streaming, doing webcam and a second webcam just pointing at my desk or something like that. If I did that, as I said, if I did it live, I'd need a second camera, or I could probably do it with a second camera with a normal video. I don't know, but that's what's on my mind. Pre-recorded videos or a live stream. What would you like me to do? Leave your suggestions in the comments. I'll read through it. I will read them, and I do read the comments. It's not like I completely ignore it. I do read them, but I don't often reply. So pay that in mind. If I don't reply, don't worry. It's not that I've ignored you. I have not ignored the actual comment itself. Just thought I'd make that clear. I rambled again, didn't I? Shit.